This was interesting. So movers and shakers in Greensboro, they gathered today for the annual State of the Downtown event.
That's right. This is where Downtown Greensboro Incorporated talks about recent successes and the future plans for the area.
And Eric, you were there this morning. What would you say are the big key takeaways?
So there was so much that we can't even fit it in this segment. I'm not lying, but
Yeah.
It is interesting that the success of late is the economic impact downtown had. They were talking around $1 billion, believe it or not, when you look at the trickle-down effect, and the fact that they've seen more than 8 million visitors just last year alone. So DGI President Zach Matheny laid out the vision of the area, and a cornerstone to this plan actually deals with the historic train depot downtown. The plan is to make this more of a community center instead of just a train depot. So we spoke with Mark De La Torre. He's with a company called MIG that consults and figures out what they should do, and we spoke with him about what the depot will look like in the future. His company has worked closely with city leaders to make this a brand new venue that they describe as multi-use.
So at the depot itself, the 4 ideas that we really discussed today, we're thinking about a better use of the Great Hall, preserving the architectural aesthetic while actively programming some of that, incorporating new uses like a restaurant or museum components for the train museum. The other pieces we're looking at are the upper terrace and the adjacent ticket stands today, consolidating some of those uses to create a food hall, and then using some of the topography on the site, which is inherently a challenge, and making that an asset for the depot and for the community through active plazas and stair conditions.
So they also noted that while change, of course, is good for the depot and the downtown icon, they also want to keep the sanctity of that building's history.
Respecting and honoring the history, not just of the architecture, but of the experiences of African Americans, and all of that rich history is something that we build from. So from there, looking at preserving as much of the aesthetic as possible while incorporating and infusing new uses, whether it's programmatic or incorporating kind of slight physical changes to better meet the needs of the community today.
So basically the depot will have everything from restaurants to a marketplace, like a fresh market, I guess, kind of thing. Gathering areas, social gathering areas like a park. So they're trying to make it a destination and not just a train depot.
That's really cool. Okay, so we talked about the Facebook post, right? That they had teasers.
Very
so
cryptic,
yeah,
yes.
which we kind of sound like we have the depot down a little bit, obviously more to it. What was the pickles about and the magnifying glasses?
So May the 4th and 5th, don't quote me on those dates, I think it's the first weekend in May, they're doing a pop-up pickleball tournament at the depot. So they hired a company to come in and build these temporary pickleball courts. They're going to do a whole big tournament, and people get prizes and that kind of thing, and then they'll break it down and take it away. So that was that. And then you remember the glasses that looked like you were magnifying the city? So that is, so Downtown Greensboro is rebranding themselves, Downtown Greensboro Incorporated, and they're calling it Come See for Yourself, because people talk about
there it is.
You gotta come visit.
I like that. I was wondering about that.
A lot of movers and shakers in that building, definitely a packed house. But when I hear pickleball, I'm thinking it's such a growing sport as well too. So that'll be exciting. Maybe about time I go get some lessons. What do you think?
So I played for the first time last week and I loved it.
It was fun?
Yeah, and I think, let me tell you a quick thing. I know they're telling us to be quiet. Real quick, the ball is like a wiffle ball. So when it bounces, it doesn't bounce high. I'm used to tennis, so I would whiff all the time because it would bounce and come up about that far, and I'm swinging up here.
And you're like, wait a second.
Yeah,
Ooh, so you got to get ready for that kind of ball
before you do it
That's
too.
right.